presented with. So you'll start the import, and what you'll do is you'll start import. It's going to take you right to NSLDS. You will need your federal PIN, your FAFSA PIN, that 4-digit number. If you don't know what it is, you can go to pin.ed.gov and you can request it, pin.ed.gov, and request your PIN if you don't know what your PIN is. But you're going to need that PIN to log into NSLDS. Then you'll download a file that's called My Student Data. That's the My Student Data button. And then upload it into SALT. It's really very straightforward. It's just a few clicks and you'll get the data. The benefit of doing that, again, you can still use SALT without your loan data. The benefit of having your data is that you have your data and you're looking at your loan payment based on your actual debt. One of the challenges with a lot of online financial education tools is it kind of gives you averages and estimates. We want you to actually see your own student loan debt, your own monthly payment. And so that's what that import allows you to do. Now, you can also add loans manually. So what I did, I'm happy to say I don't have any student loans at this point. I added some loans manually so that you can kind of see how the system works. So when you first log in, you can click this Add Edit Loan button, and you can add any loan types. So say you have a private loan or an institutional loan. You could even add a credit card or a car loan if you wanted to. If you wanted to be able to see that. The challenge with adding some of those types of loans is you've got to go in and update it as you're paying it off. It's not going to do that automatically the way your federal loans will. But you can add that information if you want to. So what I did is I went in and I added all of my loans, and I just made up a bunch of loans. I added direct staffer loans, subsidized and unsubsidized. Does everybody know the difference between subsidized and unsubsidized loans? Yes, the interest rate is a lot better. So the subsidized staffer loan interest rate right now through June 30th, we don't know what it's going to be next year because it's set by Congress and we wait until the 11th hour to know what rates are going to be. The interest rate on a subsidized staffer loan is 3.4%, but it's subsidized, which means the interest that's accruing on the loan while you're in school is being paid for by the federal government, subsidized by the federal government. It's kind of a, when you think farm subsidy, paid by the federal government, same thing with loan subsidy. Unsubsidized staffer loans, very distinct differences. So it's a 6.8% interest rate. And if you're thinking, wow, that's too high, you're absolutely right, especially in this interest rate environment. The fact that I can get a 3.7 interest rate on a 30-year mortgage, you've got to pay 6.8%. I have an issue with that, but that's a debate for another day. But the important thing to remember is that interest is accruing right now as we sit here. So if you have an unsubsidized loan, if at all possible, make those interest payments while you're in school. Because that's really where the cost of borrowing adds up, is that interest is accruing at 6.8% for the 2, 4, 6, however many years if you're in school, plus the 10 years that you repay at 6.8%, which is horrible, I think. So that's the difference between the two loans. So what I did is I went in and I added some subsidized, some unsubsidized, and then I added a private loan. And this is another thing that's absolutely critical that you understand. You have federal loans and you have private. When I talk about all of the flexibility that you have on federal loans, that's not the same with private loans. So federal loans are your direct loans, subsidized, unsubsidized, included on your award letter. Private loans are loans through private lenders. Sallie Mae, Citizens Bank, the MELA or the Maine loan, maybe your local credit union or bank. Wells Fargo has a, Discover has a loan. Those are private loans. And while those loans right now in this interest rate environment have very low interest rates, not a lot of flexibility at repayment. You graduate, you can't get a job making as much money as you hoped, there's not a lot of flexibility the way there is on federal loans. So that's the really distinct difference, and important to remember if you're thinking about a private. So what I did is I went in and I added $31,500 for five different student loans, which was again a combination of federal and private. My total monthly payment is $425 a month. That's my payment. The average indebtedness, just to give you a sense, and if you don't know what the average indebtedness is for UMA, that's a great question to ask the financial aid officer. Now, what's average? What's typical for a student getting, a 4-year degree? In Maine, the average is right around 29,000, depending on what report you cite. It varies. It's under 30. That's going to average anywhere from, depending on the data that you use, $250 to $300 a month for a payment. That's typical. That's the average for a student graduating from a 4-year public or private in Maine. So that just kind of gives you a sense of, the average debt. But again, everybody's different. Everybody's, got their own circumstances, and so everybody's debt is different. So I added that information, and we're on the Crunch Your Numbers tab. There's several features in SALT, and I'm going to take you through all of them. So there's the home page that takes you right to Crunch Your Numbers. There's a Demystify Student Loans section that really talks about the different types of loans in a very easy to understand 2 or 3 sentences instead of 45 that the federal sites tend to do. The Save and Make Money tab is where you'll find the deals and benefits that I talked about. The Get Money Smart tab is where you can actually take online money management courses. The cool thing is they're not 6-week courses. The longest one takes about 20 minutes, and I'll show you that today. And then the SALT blog, these are articles for college students about things like scholarships, financial aid, careers, debt, everything. It's kind of all over the place in terms of their articles. So I'll take you through a lot of the features. Yes?
Who are the people writing the blog?
College students of all ages.
So, what kind of who regulates the blogs? I mean, because if I can get on there and I can write a blog, I can write whatever.
Yeah, it's not an open blog. It's not an open blog. So ASA, that 300 student community that they've developed and their interns, they write the blogs. Either that or they've identified a college student at a school who's really good at something or writing, and they actually kind of intern for them to write the blog. So it's not an open blog.
So this is a reliable source.
Yes,
Yeah.
very,
Like,
very
They're
reliable
going to
source.
fact check before.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that you can leave comments on the blog. Yeah, there's a leave comment feature, but you can't just write on the blog. But all of them are reviewed and approved by ASA before they go live. So there's all different kinds of articles, and they have all different contributors from all over the country. They also have a Twitter account. Does anybody tweet? You tweet? I don't tweet. I have Facebook. You tweet? Yeah.
All day.
You tweet all day long? I don't tweet. I don't know. I'm pretty addicted to Facebook, but I just don't tweet. So yeah, that answers your question about the blog. So on the front page, what you'll first see as you scroll down on the page is this little calculator here. It's telling me for my federal loans what my monthly payment is going to look like if I enter the 10-year standard repayment plan. And this is what they enroll you in, the federal servicer. You're enrolled in automatically if you don't choose another option. If I click on this option, this is graduated repayment. So this is where you start off at a lower amount, and then you increase your payment every 2 years. And the whole idea behind this is you start off making a certain amount, and then your salary increases. You can also extend your loan payment beyond 10 years. And this is really helpful for students who have a higher level of debt. 10 years, the payment for 10 years might be too high, so they can extend up to 25 years. Although they can extend in increments, so you could do 15 or 20, you don't have to go all the way to 25. Obviously, whenever you extend your repayment period, no matter the type of loan, the longer you take to pay it off, the more it's going to cost you over time. So it's not a great option in terms of overall cost, but it's a better option if you're going from that to I might default or I might become delinquent. It's certainly a better option. There's also an option called income-based repayment, where you can actually sign up for a payment based on your income. So your federal servicer will collect income information, and they will tailor your payment based on your income. So this little calculator gives you a general idea of your overall, you can enter your income, your family size, and it will give you your monthly, forecasted monthly payment based on income-based repayment. Now on every page, you can see the ASA phone number to call them, you can email them, you can also add a reminder, so say you have some payments due, you can add an email reminder, you can find your first payment date. This little calculator here allows you to enter your income, enter where you'd like to live, say I want to live in an affordable city, and it will give you kind of a calculator of what you'll have for available resources for certain expenses. One of the things I will tell you about SALT. So this came out, this is brand new. This just was developed about a year ago. It was released last December. It's being offered nationally at schools. There's about 130 schools all over the country that have it. The cool thing is there's 10 of them in Maine, so we've got a nice percentage. The version that you're seeing now, when they released this in December, I want you to think of it as being the very first iPhone. So Steve Jobs didn't wait until he had iPhone 5 to release iPhone. He released it, got everybody using it, and then continues to, upgrade. The version you're looking at now is probably the iPhone. Was there a 2.0? I didn't get on the iPhone bandwagon until much later. So if there was a 2.0, you're probably seeing 2.0 right now. At the end of February, the new version of SALT will be released, and that's probably the version 3G, 3GS. So what's really cool about SALT is it's not a website that was developed and put out there and it is what it is. It's constantly going to be modified, upgraded, and changed based on what we learn, what ASA learns, data, new learning approaches. One of the things that the site is really designed, it's based on sort of a classroom curriculum type of learning now. The My Money 101 section, you read content, you take a quiz, and you get a grade and a certificate of completion. The way the new website will be developed is really based on the adult learning, model. The way that we learn is that, say you want to buy a car. Well, if you need to buy a new car, you're not going to probably go get a textbook and read a textbook on how to buy a car, right? You're not. You're going to talk to people. You're going to go online to various websites to find, different prices. You might go to Kelley Blue Book and read about a car. You're going to get information and gather it from a bunch of different places to come to your decision. And that's how the new version of SALT is going to look. So when you log in at the end of February, you're going to see a lot of changes to the site. The curriculum will still be there where you can read, take a quiz, get a certificate of completion. That will still exist, but it's going to look a lot different. The colors are going to change too. When you go to the SALT blog, see this look? It's going to change. It's going to have a lot more darker pinks, blues, kind of what you see on the wallet card. Some of the fluorescent bright colors are going away. So I'm not sure how people have reacted to that, but it must not be favorably because they're kind of getting rid of some of that. So you'll see a lot of changes. And the neat thing about that is that it encourages you to log in, not only to find the new deals and benefits, update your loan information, but to see what new features the site offers. So you want to, just check it out fairly regularly because it will have enhancements going forward. ASA, and again, I was there Monday all day long doing an update on the new release. They're really kind of the Google of the loan world. They're a really leading edge, really, really cool company. They don't do things like how everybody else does. And they have a really amazing culture of, innovation. So you're going to see all kinds of enhancements as time goes on.